Okay, this is a 2010 Ford 350. I'm replacing this right side outer joint. You can't see it, but when you move the steering wheel, you can put your hand on these two pieces and you can feel them move. So that'll cause complaints from the operator about the steering wheel. Yeah, so we're going to be replacing this boy. So this is a how-to. Let me put my gloves on. Part number, in case you need it or want to cross-reference it, is 2693710. I've talked to a lot of people, and I've always said Ford and Chevy really know what they're doing when it comes to 3500, 4500, 5500. Apparently Dodge is kind of lagging behind, I guess. And their suspension just doesn't cut mustard like it used to, but I would probably take one if I had an option. But luckily for me, I don't. So pull the cotter key. Always throw these away. Get a new one. This 10-cent, even if it's 100 times that, so $1, $2. If this falls out and that nut isn't properly torqued, this is your last defense. So if you're reusing this 10-cent part and it fails, you could potentially lose the bolt and kill a bus full of nuns. So, long story short, just replace it. I understand you need to be cheap and whatnot, but it's not worth it. Okay, that's 22 millimeter, and let me get my earplugs on. Make sure you're going this way. Okay, the trick is to get that bolt just past the stud. Okay, so that way when you smack it, you have a surface to hit instead of molding that threads over, and then yeah, it's harder to get something that's knurled over through a hole than to break the top of that piece. More surface area on top of that bolt or nut. So yeah, just flush, or maybe a little bit more. Couple love taps. Okay, that's not doing it. If you ever hit this piece, this is called splash guard, replace it. People would bend it back and be like, oh, that's fine. Well, what happens is it rubs on there and it makes annoying noises, and it's just so much cheaper to go ahead and replace that when you have it down. So this is we're going to hydraulically press this out. And it's not working for me. Next up is pickle fork time. So, before college I didn't have heard about it, but this is what you call a pickle fork. Once you go in there, it's angled so it goes in there and it pops that sucker out. It works great, but as my instructor Brian, I don't remember his last name, of Wahpeton, if you use one of these, you cannot reuse this. You cannot reuse this if you use one of these because you break the rubber piece. So, this one's pretty well used. Ta-da! Popped out. Oh, look at that. You got moved a little bit. Sorry. Oh, easy, tiger. Going all hog wild on you. Oh. Okay. So, a guy can either mark these threads or just pull it out and hope for the best. When you always do this, get it aligned. It's not worth the saving a couple pennies because you think, oh, you can just get it aligned and be done with. Let's see. This doesn't have to come all the way out, it just has to be super, super loose. Oh, don't forget the nut at the bottom, like I did, apparently. But I won't admit it on TV or YouTube or anything like that. Always, always, always try to have a clean surface to work with. Sometimes you can't. I'm not sure why that is staying up there. But that's in with it, which is kind of interesting. Oh, you are just all over the place. I'm not really sure. Oh, I'm going to spray a little bit of lube. One thing I might do, because I can't go all the way up, because this piece, which kind of makes me wonder how am I going to get this piece back in, but we'll figure that out when we cross that bridge, huh? Oh, there. Okay, so I can either start it up, pull it to the left, start it up, pull it to the right. Or, and back that socket out. that nut. And we can try it again. Let's see. It is 18 millimeter. And I just need to go just a hair more. Come on. Okay, I need to go a lot more. Well, I should be using a deep socket, but I'm not. Time to break out the deep socket. Also grabbed a combination wrench, just in case I might need it. Make sure you're going the right way. And I still forgot to spray lube on that piece, but okay, so I need to hold that. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna hold the one. So just holding this piece, and that's a ball and socket there, so it'll just spin. You don't realize stuff until you do it and you're like, nope, that won't work. So we'll pull this thing off if we have to. Almost out. I'll do the same to the other side, as loosen that other side up, because this is your anti-sway bar. All right. Okay, now that that piece is out, and I didn't spray any lube on it, I gotta punish myself a little bit. And I'm sure there's a specific tool, but something tells me that I'm not going to have it. So, this turned into a little bit rougher of a procedure than what I thought it would be. Oh, I don't know if you're, probably don't really want to see this. That's all I'm doing is just turning it and turning it. Some people count their revolutions out or they mark it. I sprayed lube on it, so I'm going to go off that lube. And your goal is just to get it close enough for them to figure out how close you really are. Meaning by that is you get it just enough to drive it down there. Okay, I'm going to put some lube This is long-term lubrication. It's so that way stuff doesn't stick. It's called anti-seize. It's actually made up of just copper and some sort of lubricant. Works really well long-term. So that way that part, in the event that you do need to replace it, will not be seized on you. And if it's seized, it's pretty well throw away, which means you have to replace this piece, and if that seized to this, then you have to replace that piece, and it's an ongoing vicious cycle. I don't know if you really wanted to see this, but maybe you do. Maybe you're just that interested. I don't know. Okay, so what do I do? Because I'm just looking at getting it there. Is getting it close. So, one more revolution, poof. Okay, take this piece off. You always want to make sure that they're the same, they look identical to each other, because let's face it, it would suck if you did all this far and then realized it's not the right one. I'm thinking about just leaving a couple love taps. Oh, and you moved again on me. Okay. Now that I got that in there, I want to remember to put this piece back on, because let's see, if you don't put it back on, you won't remember it, and you don't remember it, then it's just bad. I just don't, oh, this guy right here. It's always good to have your stuff in order, and this isn't it. In a clean work environment, which clearly nobody has time for anymore, but it is, I'm trying to find it. You'd be like, it's right there, and I'm like, I still can't see it. Still, nope, still nothing. Still nothing. So then, like my favorite mother-in-law, oh, it's right here. I only have one mother-in-law, but she's my favorite. Would say, you go ahead and you call for it. So you go, here nut, come on. And yeah, it does work, it shows up. And I don't know, call me crazy, that's fine, I'm used to you calling me crazy. Actually, I'm used to you not talking. Okay. And that pretty well ends it.